Today we're going to square up this building. Just because that building's there doesn't mean it's square. So I'm going to show you the old school way that I learned to square a building. I use it all the time. I double check myself, and I got lucky. I never made a mistake. Now the first thing we're going to do is look what's going on. This part right here is the existing building. This is going to be the new building. So what I do anytime, just for so you know, when I add a new building on, I always recommend to go back 4 inches. That way if any building's out of square, it's not going to show, and it's just a structural thing that makes it look a lot better. But a lot of guys, what they'll do when they're squaring the buildings, they'll run a line down this way, run a line down this way, but you don't know if this building is square. So you got to square off of this part of the building right here, because when they come with their trusses and they lay them across these two walls, these have to match. And then what you're doing is you're squaring these two walls, and the building could go this way or this way. That's how you square it. So the first thing we're going to square is the footer. I'm going to show you how I do that. This is an architecture square right here for drawing, but I use a piece of plywood. Basically the same thing. So let's go piece by piece and I'll explain it. Well, today we're going to talk about squaring off a building. Now, there's a lot of guys out there who do it a lot of different ways. I do it my own way. I learned from the old timers how to do it. And there's a fast way that I do it, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Little trick. First thing, I get myself a piece of plywood like this, and I cut it into a square. And then I take it, and I put it right up against the building. Just like that. And I know, when I make my pattern, that it's going to come over here, and that's where my footer's going to be, because right now we're squaring off the footer. So once I get it where I got it, so I got the line right here, and I'm going to go right even with that square. And as I go even with that square, that's going to show me where this footer's going to go. So what I basically did was I took my square right against this wall, and I got a general idea where that string is going to go for my footer. And then I get just a general idea. That's going to give me a starting point. And then I'm going to measure from here to there and from here to there. And then I'm measuring from that wall to this wall to get this footer right. Measure it this way, and measure it that way, this way, and then we catty corner it. Now see, I put my square in the corner here, and I check my line, and I go over here, and I check my line. That's going to put me 99% of where I'm going to be, and then when I catty corner it, should be damn close. Now what I did was I had my point, and I measured over here to make sure I was right this way. And then I came back here with my square, and I put my line this way and this way to make sure I was good. And now what I'm doing is I'm measuring from this point to this point, just like this. And then from this point to this point, just like this. And those 2 points, they got to match up. If they don't match up, say this is just for 10 feet 1 and this is 9 feet 11, well, that means this building's too short, or this is too long and that's too short. You got to keep moving it back and forth until you're exact. I got 58.7. Now we have our footer in, and it's all squared up with the building. exactly as it's supposed to be. Now we're going to do the same exact thing with the block work, and a couple tricks that the old timers show me that I use when I lay my block out. Now I took a measurement from that building this way, from this building this way. This is a basic idea. I'm going to run a line here because I'm not going square with this side of the building. I'm going square with the flat part. Because when they put the roof on, everything has to match. So I run a line down right like that. 8 inches. Now we're going to measure from that building 46 foot, 36 foot 1 because of the brick overhang. So I'm going to move this out here, this line, to 36-1. Right there. Now I'm going down the far end, same thing this way. Okay, I got myself a piece of plywood square. I made a square out of a piece of plywood. And it doesn't give you 100%, but when you're squaring the building off, it gives you the option to move the lines around so you become very, very close. Very, very close. And then you know when you're square. Because when they get on the top of the building and they put the plywood across and it ain't matching up, they're going to know right away that you're not square. So right there, that's telling me that I'm pretty good. And then I'm going to measure the other side, and then we're going to go catty corner. Now when I get these two lines going the way where I think they should be, I'm going to put my block right there. Get it down to here. I should be pretty damn close to square. Just like that. They don't work. I go from that block.
Robin said the lasers don't work. They're building billions of dollar buildings, but they don't know.
Okay, 44 foot 8. Now we're measuring this way, catty corner, 57.4. Okay, I'm at 57.5 and a half. I'm long, so I gotta move the building that way. So this side is short, that side is long, so I gotta move the building this way a little bit. That's it, we're square now. Now, after I squared it off, I just put the square on to make sure. You see how that line's right up, all the way down to where it's supposed to be. And then this side, the blue line, it whatever color that is, see it right there, that line's right up too. That's a little neat trick, especially when you're down in a hole. So I just want to pass that on. That was it. That was the old school method that I still use today. And if you ever took architecture classes, you'd learn how to really do it. Other guys used different methods, but I grew up with this. It always worked for me. I can't go wrong. God bless architects and engineers, but they make mistakes too. Here's a typical example. It works on paper, but it don't work on the real life. And sometimes you just got to keep checking. And if there's something off, plans don't look right, you got to get the powers to be, make sure everybody's on the same page. And it's always good to have whoever else is there, the carpenter, come down and check it with you to make sure his wood's going to work, just so you know. And here's some of my old stuff from architecture school right there. Templates. That's a jacuzzi template. Honest Mike was trying to sell them a 4-woman, 1-man jacuzzi, but they didn't go for it. So that's it. I hope you pick something up. Like I said, old school. If your way works, use it. It doesn't matter what you use as long as it works. So that's it.